welcome to Building a Legacy. It's the 4th of January, and congratulations on the new year. I am sorry for this setup for today. This will be the last time that the setup is like this, because we are refurbishing after a huge explosion. So we have no windows, therefore I cannot do the setup because everything is covered. But you should be able to hear me fine. Can you do a thumbs up if you can hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Thumbs up, okay. All right. Let's begin. شو الفرق بين legacy and purpose? Let's start with that question. What's the difference between legacy and purpose? So purpose is what you choose to live in, what you choose to live in life, and legacy is what you leave behind. Okay? Do you know what your purpose is?
Heading to evolution, more spiritual.
Okay. What's your purpose?
My purpose to strengthen more and more my umbilical cord with the Creator.
Okay, to strengthen your umbilical cord to the Creator. Lara? Getting out of your comfort zone. What's your purpose? Being fulfilled in a balanced way. Jumi, what's your purpose?
ما بعرفه عم صلي تعرفه.
Yes, هون.
What's your purpose?
Be a better person. Be a better person.
Be a better person.
Yeah.
Okay. أعطيني باخد. شو هاي ما فهمتها.
Like if she wants to teach to be a better
If you want to be a better person, you can give to Ziad. He's willing to take. Zena?
Hi, yes. For me is to find, to connect. My purpose, first of all, is to connect with my soul. لأنه, and ultimately, if I cleave to the Creator in the right way, then I will have peace and balance and a positive life.
Wow. Okay, so stepping out of this bullshit and into reality. Stepping out of this bullshit and into some reality, right? In which you are at the forefront of, and I don't need to tell you, a pandemic, an economic crisis. اوكي وقر وانتوا عم تحكوني شغلات هيك ساعه ضايعين ساعه فوق ساعه تحت. Okay, cleaving leaving. I don't even think you know what cleaving is, let alone اصلا do you even know what the word even means? نلزق. Okay. cleaving من لزق.
Connect. Okay.
connect. زدتوا كلام ما له معنى. يلا على ربنا. Okay. What you're supposed to be doing in life, right? What you're supposed to be doing in life and what your purpose is in any given moment is very simple, right? It's very simple. Do you want to take a... Enhance the moment you are in. Enhance the moment that you are in. Right? That's it. Your purpose in any given moment is to enhance the moment you are in. If you're sitting in your chair planning your purpose, ما له معنى. عم بضيع يعني ممكن تنزلي من هون من الدرج الطبي تتعركشي وكان الله يحب المحسنين. باي باي. Au revoir. Okay? All your plans and everything that goes with it. There's a famous quote that I personally love where Karen says it's not a quote, it's actually in one of her lectures, Karen says, so what's the plan? And someone says you can pray and pray and pray, and then Karen says, okay then, but what if the answer is simply no, F off? She didn't say F off, but she said, what if the answer is no? What if the answer is no? I want to become rich. No. Simple. فيكم تعملوا شيء? No. Okay. So to know what your real purpose is, it is what you are doing right now in this very moment, but only enhanced.
Can you give us an example?
Yes. So if you are a student now sitting, listening to this class, listen better. Switch off your mobile. Focus. Meditate. Take the words in, apply them to yourself. Share with the person next to you as a student. Share your experience. That is your purpose right now. Anything else is bullshit. Right? Enhance and connect to the now. Right? You're sitting at work. What is your purpose? Get the job done in a better way. If every single person, لو كل شخص بيقعد وبيعمل his job plus the one, الدنيا بألف خير. You will never get fired. You will always get a raise. All right? Because you cannot create anything. Can you create anything? No. So what is your purpose? To reveal that which already exists. And what's another word for reveal? Actually, it is, I had that theory, but then I gave it up on it. What is another word for reveal? No.
By action.
Manifest.
You manifest, okay, but how? On a practical level. You grab and you bring it down, right? Because if you're doing your job and you put in the extra mile, if you sell one more piece of jam, have you made more money in your business? Yes. Have you made more money for the supplier? Yes. Does that make sense? Whatever you are doing, do one more of. Stronger, right? It's extending yourself the extra mile. All right? Because something that you reveal becomes yours. Something you don't reveal is not yours. So let's use an example. You come to this class, you take a sentence, and you paraphrase it and make it your own. Yes? Is that yours?
I revealed it in other ways to other people, but I didn't create it. I didn't.
Pause. Is it yours?
What is mine? The idea?
Can Rav Alizar say that the Zohar is his?
No.
No. Okay. Of course, we're not comparing. I'm just giving you the idea, right? Okay. So, can Jesus say that the Bible is his?
The Old Testament.
The Old Testament? No. Can Muhammad say that the Quran is his?
Yes.
No.
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 Jibreel.
It's not his, right? So in this essence, if you cannot say that it's his, right? What is he doing? He's revealing it. But now rightfully for us, right? Who is the Quran and who is the Bible and who is the author of these books? Who brought them down? Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, right? Okay. So whatever you reveal without bread of shame actually becomes known for you. Becomes yours. Let's use it as a practical example. Let me finish this example and I'll give you a practical example, right? Meaning in the essence that if Muhammad revealed the Quran, right? Now the Quran and Muhammad embody each other, right? Okay. It's not bread of shame, right? But now, how many people narrate the Quran وقال الله وقال الله وانت بتقلبي المحطة الراديو لأنه ما إلك جلد تسمعيه هون. How many people do that?
فما وصلوا المسج مثل ما
No, hold on. How many people do that? A lot of people. Why do you not connect to it? Because they don't manifest it, they don't embody it, they don't have the energy for it. For them, it's bread of shame and it's hypocrisy. ما بيطبقوها على حالهم. So they're
في خوري بيحكي حلو بتقول يا رب ما يسكت.
عشان هيك
بتخفى بالقدام.
بالضبط، عشان هيك في خوري بتسمعي له وفي خوري ما بتسمعي له. Right? مش عشان it's embodiment. هو he lives up to this. Yes.
So when you live upon something you reveal, then it's not bread of shame.
If you live up to something you reveal, then it's not a bread of shame. Yes, but you have to be careful. In answer to your question, you have to be very careful that if it begins to be, yes, you are doing it in order for you to become rich and famous, right? So for example, let's say that you start to imitate Tina Turner to become as rich and famous as Tina Turner, you're not going to become Tina Turner. Does that make sense? But if you embody Tina Turner because you like Tina Turner and you support the movement of Tina Turner and you really live up to that, you know, musical standards, then people can feel the Tina Turner in you, because the Tina Turner that is going to have to go into you for you to embody Tina Turner, right, has to only come through love. Does that make sense?
Imitation for this, mission embodiment for the sake of imitation. Embodiment because if you actually believe in it.
Exactly. All right. So something that you reveal, even though you're not a creator, you are actually, it becomes yours, right? If you write a book, it's your book. If you create a formula for jam or wine, then it is yours. El connaissant mirvat is a connaissant. Does that make sense? All right. Yes. If you create a recipe. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Actually, something very interesting, and I once heard it, and I actually heard it from Yura, and I thought it was really amazing. It wasn't in a class; it was more of a like going out for drinks as friends. And one day he said to me, "You know, it's very interesting that in Hebrew, there is no word for a person creator. Like you cannot say Maya is creative, or you cannot say Mirvat created. It just doesn't exist in the Hebrew. Like this doesn't exist. Right? And actually the word, it's Yetzirati, which basically means they brought it to my eyes. Right? The word is Yetzirati. So Maya brought to my eyes spaghetti, or Maya brought to my eyes something, but it's never, the word creator cannot be given to another human being. Yeah? Yeah, that basically Jannah cannot be creative. This word, this sentence, منا موجودة. يعني بيقولوا مثلا Jannah is a Yetzirati of this painting, or Jannah whatever. Does that mean? Yetzirati, which basically means gave me the ability to see. Right? So how do you build a legacy beyond purpose? Or why would you like to build a legacy? Let's first start with the basic question. Why would you like to build a legacy? حكينا عن البيربس كتير، بس هلا أنا عم بسألكم سؤال شوي مختلف. What's the difference between legacy and purpose? We understood that. We spoke about purpose, and now I'm asking you, what is legacy? and how or why is it important to have a legacy? Actually, it's very interesting because it's very controversial, so you have to hear it to the end. قبل ما تاخدوا judgments, I want you to hear it to the end. Actually, the reason you want a legacy, okay, is because you're like the creator. What was the why did the creator create creation? To build a legacy comes from one of, مش the creator, one of the attributes of the creator, which is to be known, to manifest, right? Because if you see, does anybody watch vampire movies? Right? What's the point of being هيدا اللي سكر واخترع قصة الفامباير شو كانت فكرته؟ Immortality, live forever, right? Exactly. The whole concept of vampires is the ability to live forever, immortality. Yes.
Does everyone want to be known?
Does everybody want to be known? The answer is absolutely. Everyone who has no mental illness, low self-esteem, anxiety, بيستحي, عنده عقد كتير, everybody wants to leave a legacy behind. That's why you have kids. Oh yeah, حتى اللي بيستحوا. Even if it's egocentric, which is the point we're going to get to right now. Okay? All right. So in this understanding, right, we need to know that we are here to leave a legacy, and this is part of our creation, and this is part of something we really, 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 really want. All right? And the way that we leave a legacy is only one way. Very easy. One tool to leave a legacy. And it is what? Does anybody know? What's the one way to leave a legacy?
To let go.
How do you build a good reputation?
By your good word, doing good to others, that's what they say in the physical world. بيقولوا أعماله ترك
أعماله. طب بس بركي واحد كان كتير آدمي بس ما حدا تذكر وما ترك legacy.
No, and I think it's about words because you manifest through your words, and it's about being honest.
No, it's not your words. في كتير honest people وأنا ما بتذكرهم. Anybody? Going once? Yalla guys, very easy. It's you guys nailed it. I told you the answer at the beginning of the class. شو قصتنا؟
By fulfilling the destiny.
لك لا. أي destiny؟ هي فاتت بالدستني. كنا purpose وليجاسي صرنا بدستني.
As in no, مش destiny, purpose. By fulfilling the purpose.
No, actually, you don't even have to fulfill your purpose to actually leave a legacy. You can fail at your purpose miserably. For example, I'll give you a very, very rough example. Who is someone who failed at their purpose miserably, but created a legacy? Edison, Martin Luther King, right? Nelson Mandela. واللي اخترع الديناميت, all of them failed their purpose but achieved the legacy. So no. How? Okay.
People having desire for what you love.
Does anybody know what sadaqah is? What is sadaqah? No. No.
You have to give an amount from your money to people.
Nope.
It's different than zakah.
That's what most people, that's where a lot of uneducated spiritual principles have highlighted. Sadaqah and zakat are two different things. What's the difference between sadaqah and zakat? And what is sadaqah? What is sadaqah? Because this is from an Aramaic word. It has nothing to do with, right? What is sadaqah? And what's the difference between sadaqah and tithing?
Tithing is a rule. It's a situation. It's an amount from your money to others.
What's the difference between sadaqah and tithing?
Sadaqah is different than zakah. Sadaqah is different than zakah. Amount from your money to others.
What's the difference between sadaqah and tithing? What's the difference between sadaqah and tithing? What's the difference between sadaqah
تايزنج لازم انت تعطيه كل شهر بال10% من معاشك او من مدخولك صدقة لما انت بتتصدقي على نية شيء بعيد او باي شيء ثاني.
Nope, that's not what it is.
When there's someone in need and no matter what you give them, they would smile. That
No.
considered صدقة شيء زي هيك.
No.
That's true صدقة.
No. Very close. Say that again.
Giving unconditionally.
Giving unconditionally of what?
What you need.
What you have.
Something you need. Something you need.
Unconditional love.
You don't have.
To somebody. This is it.
What you lack.
No. Sadaqah is giving unconditionally of the gifts that the Creator gave you. So this is not sadaqah. Most people confuse it with tithing because they think it's money, because money is the easiest thing to measure. يما معك مصاري, so I will give sadaqah. But actually sadaqah can be a smile. Sadaqah can be voluntary work. Sadaqah can be wisdom. Sadaqah can be clothes. Sadaqah can be talent. Now, but there is a more important attribute to sadaqah, which is the real bottom line definition, which is giving when you don't have to give. Giving when you don't have to give. Yes.
وكلمة صدق الله العظيم صدقة ولا غير شيء؟
Because the very powerful sentence, صدق الله العلي العظيم. Now notice what this sentence is telling you. Does the Creator have to give you anything? No. So the Creator عم بيتصدق عليك. Because the Creator has no obligation to give the vessel anything. Right? Everything that the Creator, بينما tithing is a very different formula. Why is tithing a different formula? Because it's an obligation, right? Tithing is an obligation. بينما الصدقة is not an obligation.
I have a question.
Yes.
About the recipient of the sadaqah.
Yes.
Is it anyone?
Yes. Right? So sadaqah is not a defined recipient, right? So you cannot say أنا بدي, okay, you can say أنا بدي أتصدق على الفقراء, وفيك تقول أنا بدي أتصدق على Bill Gates, وفيك تقول أنا بدي أتصدق, whatever. This has no relation to the receiver of this. Sadaqah is purely for you. بينما what's another obligation in tithing? The recipient. The obligations in tithing are the fact that you are either feeding the nefesh, the ruh, the neshama, right? Which level are you tithing towards, right? بينما, for example, let's say if you give money to the orphans or to the poor or to the needy, what level of soul are you feeding? The nefesh. If you, for example, are giving money to educate someone, to make him travel, to etc., what level are you feeding? Exactly. When you are feeding, for example, when you donate, for example, to the House of Wisdom, when you donate to spiritual institutions, what level of soul are you tithing in? Neshama, right? So you're actually tithing in that level.
Within that neshama.
What?
Tithing to mosques or churches or
Yes.
shrines.
Yes,
Neshama.
it's neshama. Alashi. Because you are helping someone on a spiritual level, which actually affects all the other levels. If you actually feed the nefesh, you give someone food, you give them food, you give them food, and it's a never-ending cycle. And if you notice, so much money gets given to orphans and poor people, but actually no change happens. Does that make sense? No more light is revealed in the world. More education, more this, more that, and the stupidity grows. on every level. But anyway, this is not to disregard, but it's saying. Now, if sadaqah, now watch this very carefully. If sadaqah is given with a condition, ركزوا هون شوي. If sadaqah is given with a condition and the recipient is taking it with a condition, so it takes two to tango, okay? If the person giving the money is giving it with a condition, I'm about to example money, it doesn't have to be money, and the recipient is receiving it with a condition, you form something known as spiritual slavery. Both parties now become codependent on each other. So if you want it in psychological terms, they become codependent on each other. And by thus, this is no longer considered sadaqah. And there's another problem to it. This is the reason why you cannot have a legacy. Right? Because sadaqah is what creates the legacy and what determines the inability to do so. And this story is demonstrated, right? Where is this story demonstrated? Now, how do we know this? It's more interesting, how do we know this? We know this because when Joseph went to Egypt, right? Just to give you a summary, when Joseph went to Egypt, he was hailed. He helped Pharaoh. He took them out of poverty. Jacob was regarded as king. He was a prophet. Everything was going hallelujah, right? كيف فجأة, with one generation, the kids of Joseph became slaves? How did this happen? How did the grandfather is king, suddenly everybody underneath him becomes a slave? Joseph did a legacy, but everyone underneath him did not. Why? Ask yourself the question, why? The Israelites, so the children, the grandchildren, thought that Pharaoh is our friend. He's got our back, and we are going to give him the wisdom and the knowledge in exchange for his protection. They said they used them, but did they say that they were treated badly? No. بعد منه على ايام بعد جوزيف كمان ما عملوا لهم شيء سيء. They had fears and blah blah blah. Nobody said they were treated badly, right? But why were they given the title slaves? Why were they given the title slaves? Because of the exchange. Because of the conditional exchange.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you do a sadaqah,
yes,
does it just happen, or does it have an intention to do a sadaqah? Like, is it something that you actually do? Like, okay, I'm gonna give, for example, part of my money or part of my wisdom to, or whatever thing, to this person because it's a sadaqah for no reason. Or
okay.
Someone asked, like, because exactly.
I've always heard from my teachers that always there should be an intention for something. And if you don't have an intention, then bring yourself an intention to align to the creator. And if it's not an like if you don't have an intention for exchange, then have an intention to align to the creator. But anything done with no intention is probably done with lack of awareness as well, right? Probably. I'm not saying it's all the time, but I'm saying it's probably. Does that make sense?
So you have an intention.
You should have an intention, yes.
But the intention,
yeah.
Intention not in the form of exchange.
The intention should, in the sadaqah, should always be to reveal more light from the creator. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
But sadaqah, you said the best giving is when you don't have and you give, right?
I didn't say that.
لا قصدي انه مش sharing بس ما يكون عندك. The hardest is you have to push and give more. always ولا
say that. I said sadaqah is sharing from anything that the creator has given you.
yes no I meant when it's difficult to give هذه الكويشن اللي بدي اسالها.
Okay, when it's
not
difficult
one.
to give. But
Yes.
even when it's difficult to give, it does not mean it's sadaqah. It can just be difficult to give and it's not considered sadaqah.
Okay. I okay, got it. Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. When it's difficult to give, thank you for raising that, Teresia. When it's difficult to give, it could just mean that your ability to share is clinched on this. يعني مثلا في ناس اوكي تعي قولي لها share clothes بتقول لك ايه اوكي خدي اللي بدك اياه، بس تعي قولي لها share food بتقول لك لا ما بحب حدا ياكل من صحني. بس هيدي this is not صدقة. Very practical example. Does that make sense? Right? You're cooking, someone comes and eats from the من التابلو اللي عم بتقصي عليها، انت ما بتحبي. Is it a maximum sharing? It's maximum sharing. But is this sadaqah? No. Because it's not something that is really the creator has gifted you this as a unique gift that you don't have to share. Does that make sense? All right. All right. So a slave is formed with the favor and codependency in favors, which basically means that you trust the system, right? Anytime you say, I trust the system, I take this for granted, هيوصلني الفوائد من البنك، أنا بدي to invest with Lara, I want to invest with someone. Who are you putting your trust in? Not in the creator. Right? And now who do you need to get energy from? The person. And that creates a slavery situation. All right? Okay. In any sadaqah, right? So we understood what sadaqah is. We understood that it builds a legacy, but there's one part. This, if you are a fire sign, you don't have this problem. But if you are not a fire sign, you probably have this problem, right? What is the hardest part of sadaqah? No. What's the hardest part of starting a car? Yeah, what's the hardest part of starting the car? The ignition. Right? The hardest part of doing sadaqah is the start. Right? It's the right? This is the hardest part. And an indication that it's sadaqah, it means that it is difficult for you to do, right? Not impossible, but it's physically difficult for you to do, physically. And I mean that physically, not mentally, it's physically difficult for you to do.
No, but wisdom is not.
Let's rewind as to what it is. Do you study at night? Zohar, Quran, do you pray?
No, I know.
Yeah? No, okay. Have you ever tried to get up to do Zohar?
Yeah.
Is it easy?
No.
No. Okay. Have you ever tried someone to wake you up and say, do you want to go to Mandalun tonight? Is that easy?
Yes, of course. Super easy.
That's super easy,
Go and run and then.
right? So in reality, تعال هلا فيقني. Okay, I've been doing this for many years. تعال هلا فيقني. Okay, انتبه أنا ممكن أقضي طول الليل عم بحضر تركي. وحلقه ورا حلقه وحلقه ورا حلقه وبيطلع على الاذان وبعدني انا عم بحضر التركي وتعال قل لي one paragraph of زوهر ببلش 5 more minutes 2 more minutes, right? snooze, right? So in reality it's very, 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 we're not going to go into whether teaching is hard or not. We're not going to go there, but I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but what you have to understand that any sadaqah for the person is difficult. If this is not sadaqah, then it's not difficult. You're right. Does that make sense? يعني if I am not doing صدقة, let's assume we're not, okay, then this would be easy. I would come in here, no pay, nothing. It's easy. Does that make sense? يعني for her, in her sales, there must be something that is difficult, that she doesn't, that she finds like, oh wow, I cannot go there. Does that make sense?
بس انه like
في
أنا هلا-
يكون سوري
Yeah.
يكون شيء كثير سخيف ما بتعمله
ايه فيه يكون شيء كتير سخيف ما بتحبي تعمليه.
بس
Absolutely.
هون physically I have to do the effort to go and do that.
You don't have to. We're saying that if it's sadaqah, an indication that it's sadaqah, you feel it's difficult for you to start. But it becomes very easy once you start. مثل السبور, right? Once you start walking, لما تكسر. ايه عرفتي؟ Does that make sense? بس انتبهوا, if it's difficult and it's continuously difficult and it's even more difficult, it's an indication it's not sadaqah and you're probably just wasting your time. Does that make sense? Yeah. قلت لكم, the indication of a sadaqah or that you're building a legacy is just this ignition. بس تقلي على السيارة مقلعة. there is هيك مقلعة ومقلعة بحب وحنية واللي بدك إياه. Does that make sense? Not to be confused with sharing, transformative sharing. لا لا. عم نحكي هون عن legacy. Something that the creator has gifted you that you can share with the world. يعني انتبهوا, انتوا ديجا عندكم إياها. Does that make sense? ضاعت شي زياد؟
No.
Okay. All right. Any
My-
questions?
My initial question came in, gifts are not always something physical.
Yeah. Gifts are not always physical. Absolutely. All right. Questions? Yes. We're going to do a meditation for these gifts. So let's skip through that. Now, there is one more thing that many people don't know it's sadaqah, and I want to talk about it, even if it's for a little bit. So, are you ready? It's a little bit off topic, but it relates to this, okay? It's the going down to elevate. Okay? So, for example, you're someone who never drinks. But you go to your friend and she's been dumped. Okay? He dumped her. عم بتنوح وتندب حظها. Right? So, can you elevate this person? Can you do a sadaqah with this person by going, ما بيأثر, بيرجع لك بكرة وشوفي الحياة شو حلوة. Can you do that? No. Will the person feel better if you are just there giving them a lecture about the world of the unseen? What about karma? All right. So, okay, no, she's sitting there with the bottle of wine already. I'm advertising Mirvat's wine. Okay, you go get it from Convivio. Okay. All right. الميرفات's wine دغري بتصح. All right, you take it. All right. And what do you need to do? عبي لي كاس. Let's drink together. Right? No, you go down with the person. You're going down with the person. Right? And then you're like, okay, no, ايه وبعرف وحيوان وهو حيوان وتحيوان عليكي yes, okay. Only then can you take the person and uplift them. If you don't go down with them, you cannot uplift them. Advice ما لها معنى. All right? And this is why the Rav or my teacher, he always used to say, speak on the level of a person. Right? Speak on the level of the person, which basically means take yourself to the level of that person and from there take them up. Right? Because there's no point right? If I am sitting there telling you, I've never been dumped, right? Everybody loves me. وهي مدعوسة. Right? بصير بدها, right? So does that make sense? In any given situation, the ability to elevate someone and really to bring them out and perform sadaqah on a personal, spiritual level is to go down with the person and then take them up. All right? Because actually, off topic again, but this is what the tzaddikim do. You go to their shrine, it's a full moon, new moon, you go to their shrine. Do they need to be here? No. Why are they here? They come down to elevate you. Does that make sense? All right. So, this is the part where it gets interesting. That is why any time that you are forced to, هيدي كتير مهمة للنيو year. How many of you have New Year's resolutions? You have New Year's resolutions? You have New Year's resolutions? New Year's resolutions? Yes? No? Okay, you don't have. Okay. Zaina, do you have New Year's resolutions?
Yes.
Ah, okay. You have New Year's resolutions. All right. Jumana?
Yes, I have.
All right. Teresia?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Chuck them in the bin. They're not going to work. Chuck them in the bin. They're not going to work.
Referring back to the moment. Exactly. The moment.
Referring to enhance the moment, which will be explained a little bit deeper. Forced change. Change that you're like, I'm going to change. This meditation changed my life. This wisdom transformed me and I am flying like a yogi, is delusional BS. Change only happens when you gradually build light in the vessel, right? You reach the point, right, where you love yourself enough to stop smoking. You love yourself enough to eat healthy. You respect yourself enough to stop people from abusing you. This is not tomorrow, ما بدي بقى حدا to abuse me. Guess what? كل الabuse, starting Monday, no one will abuse me. Starting Monday, كلهم رح يبلشوا تحترموني. Starting Monday, I will eat healthy. It doesn't work. Right? Because this is another form of slavery, right? I am dependent on losing weight to become happy. Do you see? It doesn't even have to be a person. What is going on here? to lose, exactly. This is actually the people who want to lose weight, هيدا النقطة الحاسمة. بكرهك، مش طايقتك، انت حيوان، ليه كيف نصحانة، تفه علي. طب والجسم عم بيطلع اجري فيكي ولا عم تحكي معي هيك، هلا انا بفرجيكي شو اعمل فيكي. right؟ رح احرق سلسفيلك هلا اذا بتحطي لايك على دمة بقدونس بدي زيد 2 كيلو. ريقتي اكلي بهالتبوله وعم تنفخي. Right? Does that make sense? Right? But imagine the situation, right? Imagine the situation in which you say, not from oh, you are beautiful and I love you, but you really reach that stage, this point in your life where you love yourself to the point of ما بدي هيدا الشيء بيضرني ما بدي. Does that make sense? You don't have affinity with it anymore. خلص. This cannot happen with a resolution. This only comes from continuous sadaqah. This only comes through continuous sadaqah, which is the ability to build a legacy, which comes from sharing of that which you are given. ليش? Because when you share that which you are given, what are you doing? You're revealing more and more and more light. When you have more and more light, what happens? You receive more. And when you receive more light, what begins to happen to your vessel? It expands, and that is transformation. Does that make sense? If you are not able to continuously build legacy, right, or to continuously share of that which is given to you, most probably you will not be able to sustain your New Year's resolution. And this is, okay, anybody from a psychology background who discovered that they wasted 50,000 pounds on education? Okay, me, only me? Okay. All right. This is why therapy does not work. So why does therapy not work? Certain types of therapy, let's be specific, because this is going to now go on the internet after this and people will just come and attack me, right? Why does therapy not work? Because there is too much beating up of yourself and your past, right? Versus revealing more light. And this is also something that many spiritual schools also do. Correct your ego, correct your ego, correct your ego, ego, بعدين وهالمعطر قاعد with his ego. And this goes back to one of the people we asked, what is your purpose? And they said, I don't know. It's because they spent too much time doing beating themselves up, right? They don't share enough, so they beat themselves up. There's an overbeating of the self up versus the quantity of sharing. Does that make sense? So there is no light revealed for them to see their purpose, their legacy. All right? You're always connected to the Creator. And that is the bottom line, right? We're always connected to the Creator. And this is what you have to understand when we're doing the meditation now, that you're always connected to the Creator. And any time that you don't feel like you're connected to the Creator, right? This is where the problem, yes. This is where you have to connect. All right, you guys ready for a short meditation together? All right. في سؤال أنا سألته لحالي وجبت جوابه بس ما حدا فيكم سألني إياه. So I'm just going to skip through that.
ما فتحت السيرة يعني. سألينا السؤال ونحن بنجاوب.
So if we should do, okay, يلا. All right, this is a good game. I like games. I like spiritual games. Okay, so يلي بيجاوبني على هيدا السؤال will be a good channel. You guys ready? Yalla, unmute yourselves. Let's see you. Channeling people. Ask Shimon Bar Yochai, anybody up there? Okay. If we are only revealing the light, and if we do not create anything, and if we, okay, come on, these are valid, deep questions, no? Okay, so far so good? Yeah, we're on the right path. على صراط الله المستقيم. Alhamdulillah. Okay. If we create nothing and we only reveal, and it already exists and it is already ours, right? لهون. Why I'm just meant to live the moment and enhance my moment. Why do I ask for things? Why do we ask for things? يعني لشو بدي أقول بليز بعت لي عريس، بليز بعت لي أولاد، بليز بعت لي مصاري.
I'm only revealing light.
Yeah, لشو الدعاء? Come on. We don't say it's not a valid tool because everybody, 5,000 years people have been using dua. So it cannot not work.
But there's infinite light to be revealed.
There's infinite light to be revealed.
That's a
Yes.
fact.
Okay.
And every moment you live, you are revealing light.
Okay. Every moment I live, I'm revealing light. Okay.
So if at any point you want to reveal a different movie, a different story, a different
If I want to reveal a different movie or a different story,
The tool dua.
you use the tool dua. No. يلا حرجع عيده بالعربي. إذا نحن ما بنخلق شيء وما قدرتنا إنه نخلق شيء ونحن بس عم نظهر أو مانيفست، شو مانيفست يا لارا بالعربي؟ إيه تحقيق الشيء اللي عنا إياه. وأنا لازم أكون عايشة كل لحظة بلحظتها لابني ليجاسي. لشو أدعي؟ لشو بدي صلي؟ لشو بدي أطلب؟ طب اوكي greedy وgreedy اوكي بس this doesn't answer the question as to why ask.
By wanting more.
To expand the vessel by wanting more? What, because it's not expanded? شو؟ We need a purpose, but does dua give you a purpose? طب حدا من هالزوم لنشوف بركي غفيوا بالبيت هولي ما مرتاحين قاعدين. شو؟
لا واعيين. To give
واعيين.
us maybe the power to start the ignition, to start هالكار.
Giving us the power to start the ignition. No.
ما بعرف ليه خطر على بالي بس مش
إيه.
actual first vessel is infinite.
Okay.
Infinite vessel.
Okay.
Maybe to connect to that infinite vessel.
To connect to the infinite vessel? No.
I cannot take part of the creation.
هلا
Yes.
why we pray is because إذا إحنا عنا we want to make the extra push on ourselves to enhance that connection بيننا وبين الله number one و number two مرات بيكون عنا إحنا like حاجب when we are humble and we do الدعاء we have a better chance to get our answers.
No. The answer is very simple. Very simple. It's profoundly, it's simple light. It's profoundly stupid. it's like a Maya Haidamusis table. Genius, stupid.
Wait, we asked to reveal light.
You ask to reveal light? Nope. No. شو؟ كايتو? Because prayer creates the vessel. Without the prayer, you don't have the vessel.
Touched upon the areas.
Yes. The prayer is what creates the vessel. Prayer creates the desire, creates the vessel, creates the space by which this light is going to go in. No, creates the vessel. Yes. No, you will manifest it. If you, okay, let's say this is in the upper worlds, yeah? This phone is in the upper worlds. Okay, very simple. Take practical example. This phone is in the upper worlds. You want a new phone, all right, but you do not ask for it. Is this phone still sitting in the upper worlds? Is it yours? Okay, can you reveal it?
No.
Can you reveal it?
Not at any point in my field. Like I have an example.
Yes.
So by praying, you will get it.
Praying is what creates the vessel. تبهو انت بس hold on. Is the money for the phone with you? Yes, the money for the phone is with you.
Yes, but it's not revealed.
You have the money for the phone.
Because money is light, so technically the light is there.
The light is there. The light is there. But you, the prayer, I need a phone, creates that money which is already yours, which is already in your pocket, مش in the upper worlds, in your pocket. Now this money is designed for the phone.
In other words, the prayer makes you aware
Of the specific way that you're going to channel this light. شو? إذا أجاكي كادو هي نفس الفكرة، يعني أنت المصريات ما كانوا بجيبتك، كانوا بجيبة مايا واجوا. Well, this often very times happen. بتقولي يي ولك هيدي الشغلة اللي كان بدي إياها، بيوم حدا تاني تك 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 بيكون جايب لك إياها. Yeah. But if you don't actually ask for something specific, right, it doesn't mean you don't have the energy for it, but there is no vessel for it. So it's still like, it could be a phone, it could be a cow, it could be a car. Exactly, the awareness is of the vessel. You create that which you want, you bring down what you want. يعني انت معك بالضبط لينزل على الشيء اللي انت بدك اياه. اوكي؟ يعني في مثلا ناس بتقلك انا بدي ادعي بالخير للعالم كله. انه اوكي وبعدين وشو يعني؟ لمين؟ وين بصرفها هاي؟ Does that make sense? But if you say, look, I'm going to pray for prosperity for Lebanon, then you are saying, I am going to create the vessel for this. Yeah? Questions before we move on to our visualization, not a deep meditation, but visualization. You guys ready? I want you to take a deep breath in. Relax. And I want you to think of a person you would like to become. Think about it in an essence. Visualize the person. Take a deep breath in. Now I want you to imagine that you are no longer in this physical world. You are at your own funeral. Who is at your funeral? Take a look around. مين هن الناس? What are they saying about you? Imagine that you are listening to all the people one by one. Notice the people who are socializing. Notice the people who are truly sad. Notice the opportunists. Notice your family. What are their memories of you? شو عم بيتذكروا عنكن? What is the most repetitive story? What is the story you left behind that inspired them? What did you teach people to love? Taking a deep breath in, find the attributes of everything that was said. Strength, love, clairvoyancy. Taking a deep breath in, those are your unique strengths. Those are your legacy. This is your tzedakah. When you're ready, on the count of 3, you can open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, thank you very, very, very much. You are back here. Everything is safe. There are no problems or issues. Any questions